Welcome everyone to today's video. Now we have partnered with Virtual Racing School VRS and we recently did an unboxing video which you can find a link to in the description below. But now it's time to test this equipment out and give you guys my first impressions. Everything has been set up on the rig. I've been trying this equipment out for the last few days. The wheel rim, the wheelbase and the beautiful pedals, the throttle and brake that have been sent to us. And it's time to let you guys know what an average Joe like myself, because I'm not a tech reviewer, guys. I'm not an in-depth, knowledgeable person when it comes to equipment like this. There are other channels out there like Boosted Media, brilliant channel, who will be able to provide you that in-depth analysis on these pieces of equipment. But I'm giving this perspective from an average Joe who is been using mid-range equipment, Fanatec V3 pedals and a V2.5 wheelbase belt driven for the last 3.5 to 4 years. So what is it like transferring up to higher end equipment, pure sim racing equipment designed by sim racers, produced by sim racers, Virtual Racing School? And I've heard only great things about all of their equipment, particularly the pedals. So my expectations are high. So do these pedals and this wheelbase and this wheel rim live up to those initial expectations, high expectations that I have from equipment like this? So I'm going to give you guys my opinions on that. We're going to take a Super Formula car out for a short spin around Fuji while I talk about my experiences with this over the last few days, or this equipment over the last few days. So yeah, let's get into it. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and let's start off with the pedals, shall we? So, I'm firstly going to start off with something that I think gets overlooked a lot when it comes to sim racing equipment, and only really kind of always spoken about with sim rigs and seats, and that is comfort. Now, my previous wheels were V3 pedals. They served me very well, but they were quite uncomfortable, guys. I won't lie to you. I changed off the initial base plates that you got with them, or base pedal plates, which were comfortable but not grippy. They were aluminium metal that were more positioned and designed like, of course, like a road car. And I wanted something that was a bit more sporty, like something that I could feel kind of be more precise with my throttle inputs, I felt like, and the amount of pressure I was putting through the brake and the throttle. So I changed to the D plates, and they were plastic. And look, I for a period of time raced with shoes, but that got kind of aggravating putting those on all the time, and I felt like I was losing feel from driving with those as also. So I decided to change to just driving in socks, as I am right now. But it hurt quite a bit. They weren't comfortable whatsoever. After doing, I'd say, continued use of doing over an hour race or even a 45-minute race, my feet would be aching quite some. Sometimes even like physically hurting. And I kind of got accustomed to that, I think, and just became used to it. But the first thing I've noticed when I put my feet on these pedals was how damn comfortable they are. Oh my god, they're so comfortable. Now, I'm a size 10 foot, normal width. I'm not wide or narrow foot, in between, and my feet fit lovely and comfortable on them. It's just it's just so nice. I could see myself using these for a continued amount of time. Probably like even a 3-hour stint, or most definitely an F1 race, an hour and a half, the GP Tour races or an iRacing, and my feet will be absolutely fine. They're so comfortable. And of course, with the customization and ergonomically setting it up to yourself that we've spoken about already, it's just perfect. They're just perfect. I've never used a more comfortable set of pedals before. I've used some others. I've used the Huiskenwilds a few times. Not, of course, set up to my own dimensions, but I felt they were quite uncomfortable. And yeah, just weren't really for me. And I'm glad I had that opportunity to try those out, because obviously they're very popular and lots of people like them, and they're another good pedal that is on the market. But for me, they don't hold a candle in regards to comfort that these VRS pedals provide. And that's always a great place to start, because we spend a lot of time in our sim rigs. I definitely do, at least, and I want something that, yeah, I'm not going to be in pain using. Now let's talk about the performance then. So the brake pedal, I have changed straight over to the red spring, as a number of you recommended me to do. It comes with the stock blue spring. The red spring's slightly stiffer, and I had quite a stiff setup on my previous pedals, so swap straight to that, and it feels perfect. Feels perfect. Feels a bit softer than what I had on my Fanatec pedals, but in a good way. I do feel like, but my left knee, I probably had it set up a bit too stiff, and my left knee was starting to kind of take a bit of a battering through that. Feel a bit of pain also. Not too much, don't worry guys. I wasn't physically driving through pain every time I set up or turned on the sim rig and jumped in, but just like little aches here and there. And it's more so laziness from my part that I just didn't for that setup and soften it up a bit, because of just the aggravation of having to take everything apart. But this, straight off the get-go, is amazing. And the swapping out of the springs as well. Look, if I eventually wanted to go down to something softer, back to the blue spring, I don't think I will. But it's very, very easy to do. So simple, and definitely a design choice that, little spin there, a design choice that VRS have definitely taken into consideration, is just how simple it is to swap those over. Because we all know sim racing equipment, especially the pedals, can be very, very fiddly. And when we've got them in a certain position on the sim rig, we don't really want to tamper with them, do we? So very, very easy to do. Yeah, the brake feels amazing. Feels perfect. Of course, I've set it to us, both the brake and throttle, to a specific dead zone for me, because I like to have my foot particularly riding on the brake. So I don't want that initial, of course, slight pressure being picked up, because these pedals are very, very sensitive in a good way. They are so responsive, and I'll talk about the throttle in a second, because the braking is great. I feel like, yeah, I just feel like I'm not going to lock up at all. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer as well to become accustomed to these. Similarly to how long it kind of took me to get accustomed to making that initial jump to load cells from pentometer pedals like the Thrustmaster ones or the Logitechs. But no, I've jumped straight into these, and I felt straight at home. But not only have I felt at home, I felt instantly quicker. And I've never felt that before in any setup. Now, of course, setting it up to my own ergonomics definitely helps, but it was very easy to do that. And yeah, the brake just feels great. It feels smooth. I think that's the key thing, is that it doesn't feel janky. It doesn't feel jankiness, jerkiness. It doesn't feel like there's no jerkiness to it. I feel like my inputs are a lot smoother. They're a lot more precise than they were previously. And that's just a credit to this equipment. I mean, look, that's a very, very hard braking zone there. So easy to lock up going into turn 1 at Fuji, where the Super Formula car is this week, and I just feel so in control. Not even a slight little bit of lock-up. Now, I'm not setting personal lap times here, but I have done some hot laps, and I am quicker off the bat. And I feel quicker. That's the key thing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting these pedals in a race scenario. But that's enough about the brake. How about throttle? Because this is truly where I feel I have felt a massive difference. And of course, everyone talks about the brake. How's the brake feel? There's so much talk about comparing brakes to other other pedals and so forth out there. I think the throttle a lot of the time is overlooked. This is a load cell throttle as well. And my God, I've already mentioned about responsiveness. This throttle is so responsive in a good way. I don't think I've ever used a throttle before where I felt so confident getting on throttle out of the corners, and I feel comfortable. Like, it's just, it feels amazing. Now, I'm probably, this throttle is set up as it was out the box, of course, apart from shaping the pedal plate or angling the actual pedal itself. But I haven't changed anything to do with the load cell. I haven't changed anything to do with the travel of the throttle. I think I was using I think my previous pedals, the throttle was a bit longer than what I'm currently using here, so maybe that's also a benefit. But this just feels so responsive. And of course, combined with the wheelbase and the wheel, which we'll get onto shortly as well, I just feel like I was losing so much time out of the corners. It wasn't into the corners that really was the issue for me. I think it was out of the corners, just not being able to get on throttle as soon. You look at some of these aliens and you're like, how are they so quick? How are they able to carry so much more speed? Of course, that's to do with the confidence under braking, but how are they able to carry so much more speed out of the corners as well than me? And that's because they're able to get on throttle a lot sooner, because they've got much better equipment and they're much more confident and much more committed. And I totally see why after using these pedals. So yeah, it's just, I can't wait to get these in proper action, go wheel to wheel, see how they feel. But I'm driving the Super Formula car, which is very happy, very high in torque, very happy on the throttle, and I just feel so comfortable. And as I said previously, I feel like my inputs are smoother. Whether the telemetry is relating that, I don't know, but they feel smoother. I feel more comfortable, and I feel like that's relating or correlating to reduced lap time. So yeah, really excited to get these in action, guys. And we'll be doing a video in the near future to see how these are getting on, how these pedals are getting on. Have I been improving? Has my driving improved? Have I got a much higher I rating? Of course, not the be all and end all. It's not the sole barometer of whether or not you've got entirely better, but it's a good one. It's a good one. So yeah, well, that's enough about the pedals. Let's go and have a look at this beautiful wheel and this extremely strong wheelbase. So the beautiful wheel rim and the mightily strong wheelbase, 20 Newton meters strong. Oh my God, guys, what an upgrade. Let's start with the wheelbase, shall we? And we'll get to the wheel rim. You can just admire the wheel rim in that camera while I do a few laps here at Fuji. But the wheelbase. So if those of you who don't know, my previous setup was a Fanatec V2.5 belt-driven wheelbase. Served me for a good number of years. And then I got approached by Moser, and they sent me an R5. And I saw the benefit and felt the benefit of a direct drive wheelbase. However, it was too weak. Well, too weak. 5 Newton meters is not enough. It's a nice jump for people who are going up to something from a Logitech G29 or a Thrustmaster, but not going from something that was 8 Newton meters down to 5. That made me realise you can't ever downgrade in strength. Once you go up to a certain strength, you can't downgrade and go to anything lower than that long term. That's for sure. And now I've put this on the rig. Whew. So I'm currently running this. I've tried various strengths. I'm currently running this as we speak at 55%. Not running a whole 100. I'm running it at 55%, and it is nice. Now I'm probably going to bump that up soon. I feel like I probably want a little bit more. There needs to be a bit. I've realised with this wheelbase actually that I've had to invest in some more anti-vibration rubber pads and stuff that are currently on their way as I'm recording this, because the reverberation that I'm getting, or the vibration, sorry, I think that's the correct terms. Don't come at me, audiophobes. But the vibration that I'm getting through the rig is considerably more now. Understandably. And while this has a built-in shock mount, this Rode Podmic that I use, yeah, I currently have my mic stands, my mic arm, attached to my sim rig. Now, probably not the smartest decision, but I'm kind of limited for space here. It's kind of the best solution I've got. So yeah, I'm having to really try and just put some more rubber around here to absorb the vibrations to ensure that I don't get that kickback in sound. I think I'm still getting a little bit of it, so apologies if you are hearing that from the mic when I'm speaking. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of sitting at that 50 to 55 range in strength at the moment, because anything more will be kind of inaudible. But yeah, it's still a lot more than what I was experiencing, of course, with the Moser R5 and the Fanatec V2.5 belt-driven wheelbase. And there's not really too much to say. It just feels amazing. It feels... I mean, how has it taken me so long to get to direct drive? I see what you guys have been telling me. You've been nagging at me for ages. When are you going to get direct drive? When are you going to get it? And kind of... I didn't want to go half-hearted on something, to be honest with you guys. I didn't want to spend something on my own money that was too weak. I wanted something that was really going to be strong enough and is going to be long-lasting. I'll tell you what, well, 20 Newton meters is definitely a lot of strength, and this wheelbase feels great. There's lots of customization to it. Be on your screen right now. I feel like I've found a nice setup for it. As I said, the only thing I think I would change is the actual strength right now. Thankfully, Boosted Media, credit to Boosted Media out there, I kind of used his settings as a base. He's got a great setup video on YouTube. Another great reviewer of sim racing equipment, so go check him out, guys. Highly recommend him. Sure you're familiar with him already, but yeah, really helped with his kind of base setup. And the only thing I've kind of really done is yeah, I'm not running as high kind of inertia. I think I've got that at 10, and I've got a slight bit of dampening on. I think the dampening is kind of at least some bit of dampening is required. I feel like it's just the movements and the detail is just too harsh, and you feel too much detail. When you have dampening on 0, I feel like it's not really necessary to have dampening on 0. I think at the end of the day, we want to make this as a comfortable... Sim racing is all about being comfortable as well, like as I've previously mentioned with the pedals. Yeah, we want realism, but there's also an element of knowing that you can jump in your rig and do a good few races in a night, or do a long stint in an endurance race and still get out of the rig, or end that stint and get out of the rig at the end of the day and feel comfortable, not like your hands have just been... You've just gone 10 rounds with Tyson Fury or something, you know. Not that you did, not that I'd make it 10 rounds with Tyson Fury, Jesus, but you know what I mean. And I'm still yet to do the 100% feedback challenge. We'll save that for a separate video. But yeah, I haven't gone any higher than I think 70%, and that's yeah, really strong. But it just feels so good. There's so much detail, so much customization to it to make it as comfortable for you as possible, and it really does. I mean, combined with the pedals as a combined package, just with this great throttle that I've got, and I know that the brakes is great, but the throttle, I just feel like I'm able to control the rear of the car, any car, as soon as I get on throttle, because I've got that fidelity, I've got that detail, I've got that strength required to get on throttle sooner, to fight the rear a bit more. Whereas I think a lot of people do, and myself included as I've been going through iRacing, is that we know the tyre model could be better, and we know that there's always spikes in temperature when you have a little slide, and there's that moment that everyone's experienced where the car just goes on you and you're like, what the hell's happened there? I didn't feel anything. And I think the majority of that is, yes, the tyre model, but also I think it's because you don't have the strong enough, the high-end equipment, or you don't have the, say high-end's probably the wrong word, you don't have the equipment that is putting out the detail that is required to fill that. And I feel like I definitely get that with this wheelbase, because the Super Formula car is one of those cars that is very, very sensitive to slides, peaks in temperature a lot if you have a mini slide. And there's been times when I've been just practicing where I can feel that, and I can either lift off throttle or I can commit to it more and fight the wheel and fight the rear, rather than losing it through the corner, or at least losing it through the next corner, because those tyres are still spiked in temperature and you don't have the grip. And that's been a big noticeable difference that this wheelbase has provided me. So yeah, absolutely great. Well, I'm running on 55%. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but yeah, more than enough than what is needed. And I would like to get, I think, a little bit more, but yeah, we'll see if we can limit those vibrations for the through the whole rig. But that isn't the end of it. Of course, we've got this beautiful wheel rim, and I know what everyone's first thought is going to be. Damn, that's quite expensive, isn't it? That's quite a pricey wheel rim. And guys, I can't disagree with you. When I first saw this wheel rim come out, it did catch my eye, and I went, oh, that's nice. I like the red on the black. The amount of buttons, really functional. While I've always been more keen to get a wheel that has got a dash on it, I've kind of moved away from that idea because of a couple of reasons. The first is my eye line. I don't really sit in a Formula seated position. I sit more kind of like an LMP position, not quite GT, not quite as upright as GT, not quite seated as low down as Super Formula. So I'm somewhere in between. So my eye line isn't constantly on a dash. And then secondly is the price. I mean, look, Jesus, any wheel with a dash in now is over £1,000. Anything under £1,000, not really that good in quality. I think you'll pretty much see people have had quite significant issues. Don't know why £1,000 has just ended up being kind of the stock price for something with a dash in it. So yeah, and I mean when this came out, it doesn't have any dash, but it does have a lot of functionality on it. It has a lot of buttons, probably too many that I think I probably will use. You've got all these. You've got the switches here. You've got 2 thumb toggles that go round, up, down, left, multifunctional. There's 2 more toggles that don't go left or right, but they go round. And then of course you've got a considerable amount of buttons that I don't think I'm ever going to use every single function on this wheel, which is great. I'd much rather have more than not enough. And the construction of it is great as well. Like it's an aluminium based rim. It feels heavier. It feels well constructed. The shifters are very good as well. There's a nice clicking sound that you get from it, kind of metal on metal. And the grips are very, very solid. Very solid. I'm debating actually whether to actually invest in a set of gloves, because I think for long periods of time it's so grippy that I think I may end up giving myself some blisters. But yeah, Like, it's high quality, definitely is high quality, but the price of it when it was released is probably too much for what it is. And look, VRS have actually acknowledged that to me. I had discussions with them when I first when we first were setting this partnership up, and they acknowledged that. And I think now the wheel is actually on a slight discount. And look, if you want to purchase anything on their website, also you can check out my affiliate link down below in the description. I'll have a chat about discounts. I'll see if there's a discount code for you. But yeah, they've acknowledged that, and that's why this is now been discounted. I don't know what that is off the top of my head at the moment. It'll be on your screen as I'm talking about this, but it is very, very solid. They've got the double clutches as well, which I'm so happy to have back. Really, really miss those in the open wheel starts, F1, Super Formula, etc. Of course, there's a button functionality now, but on iRacing, but there's ones, the Super Formula and the F1 as an example, you really need that double clutch to slowly release the second clutch to get away nice and quickly. And yeah, I have no faults. Very easy to secure here onto the wheel rim also. I don't have the quick release yet, as the quick release was out of stock, but I've heard good things about that, and I really love, of course, the colour scheme. It's just really nice on the wheel, on the wheelbase, and of course with the next level racing bracket, it's all nice and together. And yeah, that is kind of it, guys. It's really, it's high-end equipment, and I'm so fortunate that I'm partnered with VRS, and I want to thank VRS for giving me this opportunity to work with them. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for the channel moving forward as well. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, because this partnership wouldn't be happening right now if you guys weren't able to support this channel, enjoy the content that I put out there. And I'm hoping, well, I know this equipment is really, really going to help. It's already brought a severe amount of enjoyment back to sim racing for me, and I haven't even jumped into a full race with this yet. I'm saving that for a video, my first race with this equipment. Hopefully we make it to the end. But yeah, I'm enjoying just getting around and hot lapping at the moment with this equipment, and it feels high end, and I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity to work with them and have this on my rig. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with it. There will be a future video coming in a few months' time to see how I'm progressing with this equipment, if my thoughts have changed from my first impressions. Of course, continued use with any product, any equipment, regardless of cost, regardless of build, there can be issues that arise. Hopefully there won't be, and I've been highly informed by a number of you who have been using their equipment for years on end, or since they've released them, and you've had no issues whatsoever. So hopefully that's the case for myself also. So there we go. Those are my first impressions from an average Joe. As I said, there are more in-depth tech reviews out there of this equipment if you want to get the nitty gritty. But that is my first experiences and impressions of this equipment coming up from a mid-range setup. And yeah, I think to summarize it, you can definitely tell the difference, and I'm intrigued to see how this equipment is going to improve my driving and my racing over the coming months. We'll be doing a follow-up video to this in regards to our progress, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it goes, and I know you guys are going to be on that same journey with me. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Have you had this equipment yourself? Do you have it? Did you change it for any reason whatsoever? Let me know. And are you upgraded? I'm all ears, and yeah, I'll try and answer as many questions as I can in the comments below. With my current limit, I'm sure that will increase in the coming months. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye.